Allow me to start with a very simple question. If you were to build a retirement portfolio today, not based on what worked 10 years ago, not based on traditional financial advice, but based on where the world is actually heading, would you still choose only banks, pension funds, choose stock portfolios? Or you would start looking at something different, something more structural, something more digital, something that reflects where your ownership itself is going. Because what we are witnessing right now, it is not just another investment trend, but it is a shift in how assets are represented. And that shift is called tokenization. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CryptoInvestar Podcast. My name is Leinhardt. Before we talk about investment, or before we talk about investing in for retirement, we need to simplify this. I need to really get ahead of this. What tokenization means. This means simply turning real world value into digital units on a blockchain. And that could include real estate, it could include bonds, it could include commodities, infrastructure, company shares, even revenue streams. So instead of owning paper contracts or waiting through layers of intermediaries, ownership becomes digital. It becomes divisible and programmable. This is where platforms like real world asset systems, often called RWAs, come into play. In my own view, in my own perception, I think tokenization matters for retirement. Let's connect this to retirement thinking. You think about how you're going to retire. You think about having a retirement plan for yourself, for your family. Traditional retirement systems rely on pension funds. They rely on savings account. They rely on stock market exposure. They rely on government bonds. Now, the problem is not that these are useless. No. But the problem is they are slow. They are centralized and dependent on legacy financial systems. Now, tokenization is bringing something new. It introduces something different. Something called fractional ownership. So you no longer need over $100,000 to own real estate exposure or to be among real estate investors. No, you no longer need over $100,000 to do that. With tokenization, even with a few thousands of dollars, you can have a share and you can always have regular money coming in your wallet. Look at liquidity. Assets that were once locked for years can now be tradable with tokenization. Anyone can participate, not just institutional investors, but anyone across the world. Tokenization also have something amazing called programmable yields. Returns can be automated via smart contracts, and they are automatic. So for retirement purposes, tokenization is not just speculation, but it is about building a diversified digital asset base that mirrors real-world value. So we have three main tokenization pathways today that I really want to get into in today's podcast. If you think long-term, there are currently three main directions emerging in this space. One, it is real-world asset tokenization. That is the most famous one. Now, this is the most established direction. It includes tokenized real estate. It includes tokenized treasury bills. It includes tokenized commodities, tokenized private credit. And this matters a lot because it connects crypto directly to real-world value. So instead of relying purely on speculation, you are anchoring your portfolio in cash flow generating assets. So this is why many institutional investors are entering this space quietly, and I've seen them getting into tokenization really quietly. Path 2 is what I call AI and autonomous economic agents. This is more futuristic layer. It is a more futuristic layer. We are moving toward systems where AI agents trade, where AI agents allocate liquidity, where AI interacts directly with DeFi systems. AI agents manage portfolios. This is creating a new kind of economy, machine-driven financial participation. So projects in this category are more volatile, but they represent future infrastructure. Projects in this category, they are more volatile, but they are representing future infrastructure. Now, this is the last one, and I think the most amazing one that you should really keep a keen attention to. This is where newer ecosystems and experimental frameworks exist. Digital ownership networks, and right now being represented by early stage projects. I've been discussing about Tropion's unit, right? Now, I want to be very clear here. This category is still evolving and investors must approach it carefully. The idea behind systems like Tropion's Unity is tokenizing value distribution frameworks. It is to create network-based economic participation and also building long-term digital asset ecosystems. In theory, the goal is a structured digital economy where participation is tied to network value creation. But here is the important investor principle. You do not invest in a narrative alone, but you are investing in transparency, you are investing in utility, you are investing in liquidity design, you are investing in governance clarity, you are investing in real-world adoption. So whether it is Tropion's Unity or any other emerging system, the same rule applies. Early stage tokenization systems are high risk, but must be treated as experimental allocations, not core retirement savings. Let me make this more practical. A structured approach could look like core stability, I think like 50 or 70%. So this includes tokenized real estate funds, tokenized government bonds, those are the RWAs, stable yield DeFi instruments. So the goal here is to preserve capital and generate stable yields. When you look at the growth exposure here, It is from about 20 or to 40%. And this includes AI infrastructure tokens. This includes tokenization platforms. This includes blockchain interoperability systems. And the goal here, it is to capture long-term sector growth. When you look at the high-risk early stages, okay, it could be like 5 or 10%. And this includes experimental token economies, early ecosystem projects, emerging digital ownership networks, including systems like TransUnity if due diligence supports it. So the goal here is asymmetric upside, not dependency. Now let's be honest about mistakes. Most people approach tokenization like this. They chase hype, they enter late cycles, they ignore fundamentals, they overexpose to early stage systems, they expect fast returns. But retirement investing is the opposite of all that mindset. It is slow accumulation, structured exposure, and risk balance over time. Ownership is being rewritten. This is the part that most people miss. That tokenization is not just about investment returns, but it is about redefining ownership itself. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving from paper ownership to digital ownership. We are moving from centralized custody to distributed verification. We are moving from illiquid assets to programmable liquidity. This means that in the long run, the financial system itself becomes a digital network. And that is what retirement portfolios of the future will sit on. But before choosing any tokenization company or infrastructures to invest in, you must really be sure that it falls under regulatory rules. It is regulated, and governments are still redefining rules here. You must also understand the liquidity risk. Not all these tokenized assets can easily be exited. So you must really be very, very careful here. But despite all risks, the direction is clear that we are moving towards a hybrid financial system where traditional assets are tokenized assets and tokenized assets coexist. Yes, tokenized assets will exist. Traditional assets will also exist. So I assume that in 10 or 20 years, retirement portfolios may include tokenized real estate income streams. It might include digital bond exposure. It might include AI-managed yield strategies. It might include cross-border asset networks. And the early participants today will understand how these systems evolved. Let me close this with this. Tokenization is not a shortcut to wealth, but it is a transitional layer in global finance. So some projects will succeed and others will fail. But the underlying direction is not reversing. So the real question for many investors thinking about retirement would actually be, are you building for today's financial system or the one that is being built right now? Because those are no longer the same thing. Those are no longer the same thing. This is Daniel Leinhardt on the CryptoInvestar Podcast. And if there is any one thing that I want you to take away from this podcast, it is that retirement investing is no longer just saving money, but it is about positioning yourself inside the systems that will define how money moves in the future. Thank you. See you soon.
Try.